Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Want to know the secret to being truly worry-free in retirement? It's called mailbox money. And today we will learn about the 3 types of mailbox money and which one is available to everyone right now.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, nationally recognized retirement specialist and 6-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
Of all the fears savers face in retirement, the biggest fear of them all is not getting tossed into a nursing home. It's not having to one day downsize from their present home and then move into a smaller one. And believe it or not, for many savers, it's not even the fear of death. No, as I consult and counsel with hundreds of savers each year, the biggest fear on the hearts, minds, and pocketbooks of these savers is one day running out of money. Problem is, who can savers trust to make sure this does not happen, and how does one know that the person or institution handling their life savings is truly working in the saver's best interest? Well, never fear, because today I'm going to work in your best interest today as I reveal the 3 forms of guaranteed lifetime income, something we call mailbox money, and how this mailbox money will provide you the peace of mind to a worry-free retirement. So if you're ready, let's get started.
Mailbox money!
Well, welcome folks to the Worry-Free Retirement. And yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, mailbox money specialist and full-time fiduciary, Tony Walker. And today we start our discussion discussing the 3 forms of mailbox money. But before we get into that, let me introduce to you, as always, helping produce the radio show here in our Louisville offices on this chilly October 17th, 2023, America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander. Good morning, Aaron.
Hey, good morning, sir, and good morning, audience.
And we got a busy day today. We've got the radio show, we got the television show that we always do following the radio show, and then we have a special guest coming in, someone that's interviewed me in the past, Miss Diane Williamson. And so you and Derek got your work cut out for each other today, don't you?
It's going to be a busy day, and we're yawning already.
Very busy day. Good deal. Well, we appreciate your efforts. And Aaron, as we talk about mailbox money, would you say that it would be safe to say that I've probably said the word mailbox money, 2,000, 3,000? I mean, how many times have you heard
I'd say
this?
probably more than that. What all are we counting? Are we counting just like media, or are we counting like, client appointments and stuff like that?
I hadn't even thought about that.
I'd say if we include everything, I'd say you're probably closer to 10,000, probably.
Yeah, so let's assume, folks, even if this is the first time you've listened to this radio show, but let's assume if you've kept up with our radio or TV show, or maybe even you're a client listening or have met with me, I've brought up this trademark term that I created to describe mailbox money. So I think the best thing to do before we get into the 3 types of mailbox money is to define, according to the world of Tony Walker, what is mailbox money. Okay, so here it goes. Listen carefully. Mailbox money is any source of income that provides to the recipient a guaranteed, now here's the key word, guaranteed income, which the recipient or recipients can never outlive. Okay, is that pretty clear definition, Aaron? Is that fairly clear?
Yep.
Okay.
Money for the rest of your life.
That's right. And again, then we have to say, okay, well, this key word is guaranteed, because as we're going to find out today, most investments can't come close to guaranteeing what we can call mailbox money. So what does the word guaranteed mean? Guaranteed means an assurance of the quality of or of the length of use to be expected from a product offered for sale, often, I love this part, with a promise of reimbursement. So, Aaron, let's imagine you went in and bought something. Have you ever bought something and they said it's guaranteed if it doesn't work, bring it back? Have you ever purchased something and just returned it for a full refund?
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
So why did you do that? What was the point of it, and how does that tie into our definition of guaranteed?
Well, so I purchased, I'll just give my example. I purchased a scope for a rifle, and I got it. It was delivered to me, and when I opened it up, there were what are known as bubbles in the glass. So like if you're looking through it, there's like it just looks like little specks. Well, that can be, distracting. It can kind of, askew your vision, whatever. So I contacted the company, and they're like, hey, send it back and we'll try to look at it. And if we can't fix it, we'll send you a brand new one. They sent me a brand new one, no questions asked.
So they guaranteed the product. That's what guaranteed is. Okay. So again, folks, when we're talking about mailbox money, we're not talking about, you've got, I heard this the other day. Someone came in and they were meeting with an advisor, and the advisor said, well, you're good to go. And apparently the prospective client who's looking at working with Tony Walker Financial turned around and asked the advisor, Aaron, and said, well, could I run out of money? And the advisor gave him a spreadsheet they'd run and said, well, according to our models, I thought this was hilarious, the money should last you till about age 90. So then the prospective client says, well, what happens after age 90? And the advisor said, well, according to our models, you're out of money.
We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
How's that sound, Aaron?
I thought you were going to say the advisor said something like, well, you're going to run out of money. I won't, but you will.
I thought you were going to say something else. My uncle would have responded to that. Probably can't repeat that on the radio. But basically, you're out of luck. Okay, let's leave it at that. So basically, there are three types of mailbox money. And when we come back, we're going to address mailbox money number 1, number 2, and number 3, and why the third option, while these other two may or may not be available to you, quite frankly, the third option is going to be available to anybody who's listening to this program right now. Listen, I'm Tony Walker. You're listening to The Worry-Free Retirement. When we come back, the three types of mailbox money so that you can be worry-free.
Did you realize that if you have more than $250,000 in retirement assets, the government could tax as much as 40% of it when you go to take it out? And with current tax rates set to expire in 2025, the taxes you will owe on your 401k could climb even higher. Don't wait until 2025 to see how much Uncle Sam will take of your money. Get a game plan by logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com. With the uncertainty of the stock market, now may be the best time to consider moving your 401k to safer territory. To talk to me at no cost or obligation, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. I am America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Ornder, and I just want to remind you, we're sitting here talking about mailbox money. Tony's got a great little book called Mailbox Money Made Easy. So, if you don't get all the information or whatever, you want some more information, all you got to do is go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, go to the downloads page, fill out a little bit of information, and you can download that book. Or if you're not comfortable doing that, no problem. Just call our office at 877-499-9255, or even better, just email Gina at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Again, that's Gina, Gina, at TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Yeah, it's a great little booklet. Speaking of books, we just published our most recent book called The Worry-Free Retirement Process, which probably is the first book that a lot of people say, Tony, I love your books, but can you provide some more real detailed meat of what you all do behind the scenes? This book will do that. You can purchase that book by going to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. You'll see the Worry-Free Retirement Process book on the homepage. Click that link. That'll take you to Amazon. Highly encourage you to read that book. It'll really gives a deep dive of what we do here and why we are so unique at helping these savers worry less about money at Tony Walker Financial. Okay, if you're just now joining us, the three types of mailbox money. Again, mailbox money, according to the world of Tony, is defined as follows. It's any source of income that provides to the recipient a guaranteed income which the recipient or recipients can never outlive. So the first choice, drum roll please, Derek, who's editing the show right now. is the same type of mailbox money my granddad, who worked for Bell South for 43 years, began receiving in 1978. That's right, folks. They've gone the way of the dinosaur, and there's not many of them left, but that would be called a pension. Okay, so again, my granddad and most of his generation, the deal was you go to work for a big company, you keep your nose clean, stay with that company as long as possible. When you retire, the company, your employer, will reward you with something called a pension, which is the first form of mailbox money, which basically gives those folks a guaranteed income. Now, pensions, with the introduction of 401ks in 1978, Aaron, employers were worried that these pensions were costing them so much money. Someone had the idea to say, hey, why don't you get out of these pensions, introduce a 401k. You can match it if you want to. You don't have to. This is somebody selling the employers on this idea. You'll save money and have the employees save on their own. Do you think employees deep down really wanted to do that? Well, what do you think they really wanted to do? They probably didn't know what was going on, did they?
I mean, I put myself in that situation. Anytime I try to think about something like that, I try to put myself in that situation. I think I'd rather just not have to deal with that. And talking about matching and then taxable assets and all, it's like I'd rather just retire, get what I've saved, and just,
ride off into the
coast
sunset.
like that. Yeah.
And that's what my granddad and his generation did. In fact, growing up around my granddad, he never worried about money. He had his pension. We'll talk about the second form of mailbox money he had. But he didn't have to make any investment decisions. He had no risk. He was not worried about running out of money.
Only time he worried about money, folks, is when Tony went up to the local store and got his Tiger Reds and what were the peanuts?
Tom's Toasted Peanuts.
Tom's Toasted Peanuts. That's the only time Tony's granddad worried a little bit about money.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
And I never will forget, me and Marty had really worn it out. We had gone up there and he got his little bill at the end of the month. This shows you how inflation. I mean, now he was mad. He never got mad. He said, do you know what the bill is up there? It was the Troy General Store. And we said, no. It was $13.
I was going to say
for the month.
For some reason, I was going to say $28, but yeah, $13 for the month, and he was probably ready to wring your neck.
Oh yeah, it was like, what are you doing? Well, you remember fish and chips and peg legs from Long John Silver's were $3. So yeah, $13 was a lot of money back then. Okay, but basically they did away with it. Now here's an interesting article. So pensions have gone the way of the dinosaur. Everybody thought they would love these 401ks. Turns out 401ks are full of risk and uncertainty and no mailbox money. Look at this article that just came out. It came out in Investment News. I don't have the date, but it was just the other day. We're recording this show on, here you go. October 10th, 2023 is when it came out. Listen to this headline, Aaron. UAW, that's the United Auto Workers, wants pensions back. Automakers really don't. So isn't that interesting? After all these years, pensions have gone the way of the dinosaur. Now, folks, I realize if you're with the state or you're a teacher, you get a pension, but we're going to find out in a minute that could affect mailbox money number 2. But basically, I get it. These pensions were taken away. 401ks were supposed to be the savior of the world. So why do you think all of a sudden a lot of workers are saying, we want our pensions back, Aaron? What's the problem?
Well, I think back to that commercial. It's my money. It's like it's their money that they're saving.
That's right. They want the certainty of the pensions, right? The mailbox money. Okay. So mailbox money and pensions go hand in hand. The problem is, folks, most of you don't have pensions available to you. So let's move on to mailbox money form number 2, and that would be, drumroll please, Derek. That's right, folks. It's Social Security. And you might be going, huh? Social Security's mailbox money? It falls in the definition, okay? It's guaranteed income you can never outlive. So many of you are sitting there saying, well, Tony, I don't trust Social Security. And isn't that thing supposed to run out of money in 2033 or 2034 or something? Well, number one, if they don't do something with Social Security, they've got to make some major changes. But between you and I on the fence post, with the political ramifications, I don't think they're just going to do away with Social Security. They're probably going to reduce benefits. They'll extend the ages. They will do something to keep that program intact. So let's assume you get something for the rest of your life. It's still guaranteed income. So guaranteed income for the rest of your life would fall into Social Security. Now, there's another key word, though, that's missing with Social Security. And Aaron, earlier when we talked about the idea of guarantees, Let's say you had sent that scope back on that rifle that was messed up, and they said, hey, Mr. Orender, I'm sorry, we don't carry that scope anymore. And if you'd said, reimburse me my money, that would have been a logical response, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Give me my money back.
Sure.
And if they gave you your money back, you'd say, hey, great, they fulfilled the guaranteed. Well, Social Security is not necessarily guaranteed that way. Think about this a minute. Let's picture you're just turned 62 years of age, and let's say you're single, male or female, it doesn't matter, and you've worked all your life. And let's say if you calculated the amount of Social Security you and your employer, remember your employer's matching these FICA taxes, your Social Security, let's say you all had paid in $200,000 into Social Security. You with me, Aaron?
Okay.
You're 62, and you say, you know what? I don't trust the Social Security system. I think it's going to go belly up. I'm worried I'm going to die. I'll miss out. I just want to take it now. I don't care. You can run all the numbers you want to, Tony. Give it to me now. So let's say your Social Security is $1,800 a month, and you live 1 month, and then you die. Aaron, what happened to the $200,000 you put into the system? Where is it?
It's back in the system.
Back
isn't it?
in
It's
your
back in
pocket.
the system.
That's right.
They're not sending your wife a check for
That's right.
$200,000 or anything.
Yeah, there's no reimbursement. It's gone.
Great. We can just put that into your retirement account and make it go to work for you, and it's gone.
So on the one hand, Social Security is mailbox money for life, but there's a caveat because there's no guarantees, you or your family, no guarantees, hopefully you will if you live long enough, but that you'll ever get all of the money back or be reimbursed with the original principal. Oh, incidentally, Social Security, as we record this, there is good news. They are providing a 3.2% cost of living adjustment for 2024. So next year, 3.2%. Let's use an example. Let's say your Social Security, you're drawing it right now in 2023, and it's $2,500 a month. But next year, with the 3.2% cost of living adjustment, or what they call COLA, it's going to go up to $2,580 a month, and that's guaranteed for the rest of your life, minimum, even if they don't increase it. In fact, I was even thinking, I know Derek's over there editing the show. Derek, what could you do right now with an extra $80 a month?
Well, I guess I could afford like 64 chicken minis from Chick-fil-A and 3 grande cold brews from Starbucks.
And I want to say something now, because a lot of people are critical of Social Security. Folks, the Social Security system was created by politicians and indirectly is run by politicians. But the administration actually handles Social Security. And I want to say shout out, kudos to the Social Security Administration. I think they do a wonderful job. I meet so many people and have so many clients that have to deal with the Social Security Administration. So I want to say thank you to all the staff, employees, and also they have a wonderful user-friendly website. In fact, I want to go right now to our own Lisa Allerkamp in our Bowling Green, Kentucky office, who's in charge and expertise of Social Security for our clients in terms of providing some advice on that. So Lisa, tell us a little bit about the Social Security website and how easy it is to use for consumers to find out more about their benefits.
You can easily access your personal Social Security information by logging on to ssa.gov/my account and select the Create a New Account option. Once there, you'll need to verify your credentials through login.gov or id.me. If you already have these credentials established, you can skip this step and proceed forward. If you do need to create your credentials, you'll be asked some personal information, and then you'll be sent an activation code to access your account. From there, you're all set. You can access your updated personal Social Security information, and you may also select to receive text or email messages from Social Security Administration. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, lisa@TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Okay, good stuff there. So let's summarize so far what we've got. The two types of mailbox type of accounts we've mentioned. You had the pensions and Social Security. Incidentally, on Social Security, another way a lot of people don't get Social Security, and this is a dilemma. We mentioned teachers earlier. Those who are in the state of Kentucky under the teachers' retirement system won't get Social Security, or if they do, it's called the windfall elimination provision, will only get a minimum amount, even if they've had some satisfaction to the quarters applying to Social Security. Again, if you fall into that category and have questions, about any questions on Social Security, quite frankly, feel free to email Lisa, Lisa, Lisa@TonyWalkerFinancial.com. She's our specialist there on Social Security questions. We'll be happy to try to answer your questions. All right, when we come back, the biggie, the one that is available to just about anybody that can fog a mirror out there right now, we're going to come back and name the third type of mailbox money, one of my favorites. You stay tuned. I'm Tony Walker. You're listening to the Worry-Free Retirement. We will be right back.
Are you retired or retiring soon? Do you have a 401k, IRA, 403b, thrift savings account, or lump sum pension that you'd like to move to safer territory? Did you know that all the money you see on your 401k statement isn't really yours? Depending on your overall taxable income, the government has essentially a lien on your 401k that can tax as much as 40% of your money when you go to take it out. Tony Walker calls this the 401k tax tumor. For almost 40 years, retirement specialist Tony Walker has helped thousands of savers worry less about money by creating game plans to deal with your tax tumor. Get control of your retirement by controlling the taxes owed on it. Schedule a free meeting to see if you can reduce your tax tumor and provide a guaranteed income you can never outlive. To get started, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Our Tony in the Trenches comes to us from Art in Seymour, Indiana, who asked the following. Tony, I recently lost my wife and now must decide who to leave my money to. Problem is, I do not want my kids and grandkids to get it all at once when I die. Is there a simple option you offer where I can leave money at death to heirs so they will not get it all at once and blow it? Well, Art, actually there is, and it's something called a restricted benefit. And I tell you what, to tell you how we can help you take advantage of spreading that money out over time so that the kids and grandkids can use and enjoy it without getting it all at once and without having to go through a bunch of expensive trusts, etc. Let's go to our own Mandy Houchins and explain what a restricted benefit is.
What you're referring to, Tony, is something that we call a restricted beneficiary payout form. This is an option our clients have for setting up restrictions on how their beneficiaries get paid out after a death. They can restrict it to pay out over a 5 to 20-year period. In fact, we recently had a client who lost his spouse and was nervous about leaving a lump sum to a younger child. So we are looking into helping him set this restricted beneficiary form up for him.
All right, good stuff there. By the way, before we get into our final type of mailbox money, I do want to give a shout out and a huge thank you to all of our clients that were able to attend one of our 4 client events. Every year we host client events just to show how much we appreciate our clients. We got just over 3,000 clients, and we had well over 1,000 of those to decide to attend. We had the Belle of Louisville. That was wonderful. We had Top Golf. That was really cool. We had a great dinner at the Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then we concluded with the dinner about 500 people attended at the Crowne Plaza. And again, just a wonderful evening. So again, for those clients who couldn't make it, we're going to have some more next year. And for those of you who are not clients and you're like, hey, none of my advisors or financial institutions do anything for me like that, I'm interested in knowing more about you guys. Well, we really value our clients and appreciate them, and we would welcome any calls from prospective clients. Just give us a call at 877-499-9255, or you could go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Click on that Let's Get Started. You'll be talking to me, Tony Walker, the owner of the company. We call it the free fiduciary phone call. And then if it warrants, if we think we can be of help to you, we'll meet you in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. All right, as we conclude the third type of mailbox money, drum roll again, Derek. That's right, my favorite, private annuities. So we're not going to go into details about annuities. If you want to order a booklet I wrote, it's called Annuities Made Easy. Folks, I've been doing annuities longer than most people could even spell annuity. One of the largest individual producers in the country. We've written over 3,000 annuities, totaling nearly $600 million in premiums. I don't mean to boast, folks, but we know these products really well, and many of you are rushing out, throwing all your life savings into these contracts. You don't understand them. Many of you are being misled. Many of the people sell annuities are not required by law to work in your best interest. They're not fiduciaries. So first of all, if you're thinking about buying an annuity, please get a second opinion from Tony Walker Financial. It's free, and you're going to be talking to somebody that has a lot of expertise in this area of annuities and retirement planning. Okay. So how can insurance companies who issue annuities, remember our definition of mailbox money, guaranteed income for life, how can they guarantee this income? Well, first of all, insurance companies are some of the most solvent institutions in the world. Number one, they're under highly state regulations that they have to keep reserves in place, huge amounts of reserves, to make sure they can fulfill the promises of these contracts that annuities are offering, this guaranteed lifetime income. And you might say, well, Tony, I still don't see how they can do that. How can they, let's use an example. Let's take this versus banks. You know, banks are paying great interest right now. As we record this show in October of 2023, incidentally, we can get you bank CDs through our Schwab program at very good rates. But let's just say you've got $200,000 and you can get a 5% CD. So that's $10,000 a year. And you say, is that guaranteed? Well, it is if it's a one-year CD, but let's take this out to its conclusion. Aaron, is there a good chance that the CD rate could go down in the future?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you can't really say, well, I'll go to the bank and they're paying $10,000 a year now, because the bank is not going to guarantee $10,000 the rest of your life, right? They can't do that. Now, they might be able to guarantee the principal, but if you keep taking out $10,000 a year, and those bank CD rates go down to 2%, you're eventually going to run out of money, right? Does that make sense? It can't keep up. But with an insurance company, in that same example, let's say you give them $200,000 and the payout rate is $10,000 a year. Even if you live 20, 30, 40 years, and you can even set this up for your spouse, quite frankly, you're going to make sure that you don't run out of money. Now, theoretically, the account could go to zero. It could run out of money at the insurance company. But remember, this is a contract. An annuity is a contract. It's not really an investment. It's an agreement between you and the insurance company. It's called a unilateral agreement. All you do is sign up for it. You're not really agreeing to do anything except give them the money. So the insurance company has everything on their back. The agreement, the contract, ties them to this promise that as long as you, and if you want to add your spouse, as long as you live, they must pay you the amount of money that it begins to pay. So, Aaron, the reason we call that
Sleep insurance
is because when you go to bed at night, it doesn't matter if the stock market crashes, it doesn't matter what happens to bonds, it doesn't matter if interest rates on CDs go back down to 0.5%, which they were just a few years ago. With an annuity, they will guarantee you mailbox money for life. So how in the world can they also do that? How do they know that they're not going to go bankrupt trying to make all these payments? Well, first of all, they have people employed called actuaries, and they are using science, statistics, investments experience to make sure that they know how many people will die each year. And they have to know that so they can do the calculations and the payments. So there is a lot of science that goes into those calculations. So that's a guarantee, so to speak, that you can rely on. The next guarantee, and a lot of people don't know this, most states provide some sort of guarantee called the State Guarantee Fund. Kentucky and Indiana, where we do most of our business, they do. All states do to some extent. You can contact your insurance department if you want to get, we have information on this as well. But there are state statutes that govern how much money is protected if an insurance company goes out of business. That should give you some assurance, right? Aaron, remember one of the definitions of guarantee is the word assurance. Well, literally, these are called the State Guarantee Fund, and it's currently in Indiana and Kentucky, as of the last data that I looked at the statutes, $250,000 per person. So if you and Martha both have $250,000 each with one insurance company, the insurance company goes belly up, the State Guarantee Fund would come in to protect that $250,000 for each of you. So folks, I don't know about you, but if you're sitting there and you don't have any guaranteed mailbox money, maybe you're not even eligible for a pension, maybe you're worried about Social Security, why wouldn't you at least let us talk to you about mailbox money and specifically how annuities and a retirement planning specialist such as Tony Walker Financial can give you some peace of mind about your retirement. Do this right now. To contact us and set up your free fiduciary phone call, go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Just click on that little Let's Get Started button. We'll arrange that call. Or you can give us a call at 877-499-9255. That's 877-499-WALK. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. We've certainly enjoyed being with you. But you remember, between now and next week, if all else fails, you be worry-free and make it a good one.